NASCAR rolls to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Magic Mile, the first race of the round of 12. Last year's race ended in wet weather conditions. I checked the weather this morning. High and dry, bright and sunny this Sunday currently is the forecast. I am joined by WinTheRace.info's Ryan Stevens to preview this weekend's race. Ryan, I hope you're doing well. Christopher Bell is doing phenomenal. Wins at Bristol last Saturday night, and New Hampshire has been his playground early in his career. Do you think Christopher Bell goes back-to-back this weekend? Do you think he makes that statement on Sunday?
Yeah, we really like those chances. I mean, here's some crazy Bell New Hampshire stats. Before he got to the Cup Series, he's only ever lost once at New Hampshire in trucks and Xfinity. In 2016, his first race there, comes in second to William Byron. That's respectable. Comes back the next year and wins. Goes to Xfinity, wins in 2018, wins in 2019, again in 2021, and then most recently in 2024, he started 23rd in that race. So doesn't really matter where you place him. He just finds his way to the top one way or another. And then you get to the Cup Series with JGR. He's finished second, first, 29th, and first. And in his 29th, he finished both stages inside the top 10. That finish is not indicative of how he raced that race. And so while the tire combination is the same as Richmond, North Wilkesboro, where he won, Martinsville, Bowman Gray, it's worth mentioning Bell's victory in this same package at Phoenix to start the year as well. So this is just his bread and butter, this track type. And if we see some tire wear, I like Chris Bell even more. He just finds a way to be strong late in these runs.
Yeah, led 149 laps in this race 1 year ago. It was a regular season race then, but even the wet weather conditions didn't seem to slow him down. You mentioned the tires. It's the same tire combination we most recently saw at Richmond. There was a tire test at New Hampshire back in July. Christopher Bell participated in said tire test. There were two other tire testers that both happen to be below the cut line right now, that being Joey Logano and Ross Chastain. Now, Joey Logano has been pretty strong at New Hampshire in his career. He's coming off back-to-back top 5 finishes in the first round. So I want to ask you, Ryan, Chastain or Logano, who is most likely to perform best at New Hampshire and maybe get back into the green, into the positive?
Yeah, I have Logano here. I didn't realize this until I looked it up to, doing prep for the show today. In 4 races in this package in 2025, Logano has the best average finish of 8.5. So I didn't know that before I looked it up. And only one of 4 drivers with a top 10 finish in at least 3 of those 4 races. So, the finishes have been a little volatile, but Joey's finding himself in the top 10 more often than not. He's also awesome at Loudon, like you said. He has wins here with 2 different teams. Last year's finish is not indicative of how he ran at all, finishing both stages inside the top 3. When we didn't have rain option tires or anything like that in 2023, he started fourth and finished second. And he starts this, round of 12 just below the cut line, I think like 1 point below or something like that. It's a great track for him to gain a lot of ground here to start this round. So I think Joey will be very strong. And that tire testing, like you mentioned, I think that can only help.
Yeah, I find it interesting though. Like a lot of the tire tests this year, all due respect, they'll send Justin Haley and Eric Jones and Michael McDowell. This one, they sent Bell, Logano, Chastain, 3 guys who at the time knew they'd be in the playoffs, knew they had championship aspirations, so they clearly took this test, this track very seriously. I like that little Chastain-Logano head-to-head. How about another friendly head-to-head matchup? Tyler Reddick has been the best driver at 23XI Racing really since he arrived, but the last few months, Bubba Wallace and the 23 team have outperformed them. So Wallace this year has a win. He has more top 10s, more laps led, more stage points earned than Reddick, and he's above the cut line entering the round of 12. Tyler Reddick is not. So pressure on both drivers. I want to ask you, Ryan, which 23XI teammate will perform the best at New Hampshire on Sunday?
Yeah, you said it great there. I mean, I would give the slight edge to Bubba. It's a little ironic when Bubba wrecked out of the race last year. My reasoning here, because the thing about Reddick is he just kind of really struggles to get finishes. His average finish in these 4 races in this package this year is only better than 8 other full-time drivers. He has 0 top 10s, while Bubba has 2 top 10s in those 4 races. And I think we're all seeing, like you said, he's been strong for a while now. It's almost like everywhere we go, no matter where we go, or track type package we're in, we're not surprised to see Bubba running top 5 or even leading laps in races, which is just incredible. So when I look at just the stats, I mean, Reddick has been much better than these average finishes, but I'd have to give the slight edge to Bubba here in this matchup.
Yeah, and I remember last year's race. I think Wallace was in the top 10 much of the day, and then got wrecked in the rain in those wet weather conditions. So again, finish not necessarily indicative of how well he ran. All right, we'll back up to the favorites here. We've bounced around enough head-to-head matchups. I think we all agree Christopher Bell going in, all eyes on the 20. This has been his best track historically, but who else is a serious threat to win? I have one eye on Chase Briscoe because I remember how good Martin Truex Jr. was here, and I mean, Briscoe's on a roll, but is there anyone else that you're keeping a watch on, Ryan?
How about Ryan Blaney? I mean, number one in my
Fair
true
enough.
performance scores in the four races we've ran in this package this season. The best incident adjusted speed and true average running position in this package as well. And with Blaney, again, you have to look deeper than the recent finishes here because he has been running up front in these races. So he's finished 25th and 22nd the last two times out here, but in both races, he hasn't finished a stage one or two outside the top five. So he's been up there. And something, has to give here, as Brian Twining always says in our Discord to win the race, what we've seen from Blaney at tracks we wouldn't normally call his strongest can be thrown out in 2025. He has proven he can run up front anywhere, and the incident adjusted speed in this package and other packages are proving that to be correct. So, yeah, give me Blaney here. I think he's going to be very strong this weekend.
Yeah, was it Richmond? I'll edit this out if I was wrong, but wasn't it Richmond where Blaney historically had not gotten the good finishes and then boom, top five a few weeks back? So to that point, he is
Yeah,
bucking some
I
of the
think
trends recently.
was it Darlington early in the year too? One of those tracks too, high tire wear, and he just, he had the best run of his career and it wasn't even close. Might have been the best car in the race. So yeah, I think with Blaney you can throw out some things from the past, and this season he's especially strong.
Yeah, they just keep getting better over at that 12 car. It almost feels like that championship season was like 2 years early. Like I feel like now he's more formidable than he was then in many ways. Well, we'll wrap up with this, Ryan. Could Austin Cindric vault himself into the round of eight this week? Could someone outside of the playoffs play spoiler? Who is a dark horse win pick or maybe a top five threat? I'll give my mention real quick. John Hunter Nemechek finishes of 4th, 6th, and 14th the last 3 weeks. He ran 8th at New Hampshire last year. Granted, he made up some track position in those wet weather conditions, but that's one guy, kind of a sneaky pick I'm looking at. Who's someone that you have your eye on Sunday, Ryan?
And the Nemechek strategy has been legit over the last month or so as well. So I mean, he's found himself. I don't know, just I don't know if you want to call it luck because when he gets the track position, he's running up there as well. He becomes, faster. And we've heard Denny Hamlin talk about that once you get that track position. But that's a great pull with Nemechek because he's been doing that lately and finding himself running inside the top 10 more and more. I'll stick with, I guess Toyota here and 2311. We just talked about Bubba, but Bubba and Reddick both fifth and seventh in my true performance scores in the four races in this package this year. And in the Gen 7 era at New Hampshire, Bubba has a high finish of third, Reddick a high finish of sixth. And in my eyes, and I think the stats are showing this, both are better right now in this package than they've ever been and on this track type. So I think they can both qualify really well and run up front. If I got to mention someone who's not in the playoff hunt, I'll stick with another Austin and just go with Austin Dillon. He won most recently on these tires at Richmond and has
That's
brought
true.
fast cars to New Hampshire in the past too. 2023 sticks out to me in particular. 2022 is the first year of Gen 7. Some teams struggled. Ford and Toyota have new bodies since then. 2024, we had the rain situation. But sandwiched between those races, Dillon started 11th and finished ninth at New Hampshire. And if we want to look further than Richmond in that win, the most recent race before that in this package was Iowa, where he started 18th and finished 10th. So while the win might be too much to ask here, I don't think a top 10 is out of the question for Austin Dillon, especially if we see some tire wear like we did at Richmond.
That's a good pick. Good pick for sure. Ryan Stevens, wintherace.info. Always enjoy doing this segment every single week. Fans watching at home, you can find more of Ryan's great work at wintherace.info. Link is down in the description. And Ryan, can you tell us more about the draft, the live show you and your friends do every Wednesday night?
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Win the Race YouTube. And if we can put the link in the description, just click that and go check it out. We're going to draft one driver, myself, Phil, and Tino, one driver from every team. We use NASCAR points to score it. Whoever wins gets to pick a charity. Win the race donates to it. So it's a fun show. We talk about a ton of different drivers. So it's really, just a nice in-depth preview. It's fun. There's good comments, good banter. So if you want to see a fun NASCAR show where we talk about every team in NASCAR, check it out. It's only 1 hour long. Try to keep it short and sweet. So appreciate you.
Love it. Love it.
That.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ryan, always good to see you. Thanks for bringing the good data this week, as always. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much for having me. Enjoy the race.